back to the channel. Today I'm going to spend some time talking about the narcissist demonic attachment. So, the thing that people have to realize, and I've sort of built the channel in a sense on this, and a few other places talk about it, but not very many still. The thing that people don't understand primarily about narcissism is that its root, its foundation is in a spiritual disorder. I know it's characterized as a personality disorder, and it is. But the thing about it is the heart of a person. It's the inward spiritual makeup of a person that determines their personality. The spiritual problem manifests mentally. It manifests in myriad ways. People will sometimes ask the question, okay, so was Jesus casting demons out of people who were spiritually, I mean, was it really a demon, or were they mentally impaired, mentally disturbed? You see, I don't think that there's a distinction between those things. Somebody who is mentally, so there are those individuals who have a purely mental disorder. And you guys know what I'm saying. They have uncontrollable tics. They're very hyper, or they just can't think things through. They can't process information, or they're so mentally impaired that they just don't have control over themselves. They need help to do all sorts of things. Those are mental impairments. That's a brain problem. But a brain problem is not somebody who knows what they're doing, who knows how to function, who can turn things on and off when they need to, who can interact in reality, who aren't just reacting to what their brain does. The narcissist is not mentally impaired. That's why it's a personality disorder. That's why at its root it's a spiritual disorder. Jesus was casting demons out of people. It wasn't a mental problem, wasn't a brain impairment. He was casting actual demons out of individuals. What the narcissist has is two different things, depending on the situation. They have a demonic attachment, or they can be possessed. And there's a difference between those things. Someone who is possessed is uncontrollable. They act out of, they don't have control over their own being at that point. Not because of a brain impairment, but because they've been taken over and they have a spiritual force, a spiritual dark entity or entities controlling them. You see in scripture cases where people will uncontrollably lash out and just wreck other individuals. They'll physically harm them. They've been taken over. They have no identity anymore. They're taken over by that force. Demonic attachment is not the same thing. Demonic attachment means you have dark spiritual forces, dark spiritual entities that are involved in your life because you have chosen that path of darkness. So they have kind of clung on to you. They are affecting the way you do things. They are guiding you in false directions. They are empowering you to do evil things. But you're somewhat in control. You're not fully out of control. You're just being kind of steered by a demonic power. That is what most narcissists are, in my opinion. So, how do you know this? How do I know that this is the case? First of all, as many of you guys point out, the fact that the narcissist can turn on and off the way they behave a lot of the time, that proves it. The fact that the narcissist can go to work and behave cordially or even kindly and be smiley and bubbly and helpful, and they seem like such a wonderful person, or they're out at a party, or they're out somewhere in the public, they're at a grocery store, they can come off that way. And then you guys leave the store, you go get in your car, they're not that person anymore. You go home, you close the door, they're not that person anymore. That proves that they have power over it. And I would absolutely argue that there's demonic attachment there guiding that. So there's no mistaking, they do know what they're doing a lot of the time. I will continue to argue though that it's not that black and white, because the definition, guys, of delusion, a person who goes down that path of darkness, they do believe lies. They do become delusional. And what does delusional mean? It means you're not operating in reality any longer. They have a sense of entitlement where they think they deserve certain things. They literally think they deserve certain things. They deserve to take money from you or keep things you gave them because they're entitled to it. It's not just to be cruel. They think it belongs to them. There's so many things the narcissist will do out of entitlement. And I'm telling you, there's lots of times too, they become delusional and they will gaslight, they will lie, they will triangulate you in front of somebody. And it's not always that they sat back and like did the math of thinking, I'm going to do this right now. If this, it comes out of them. They do grow over time to live in somewhat of a warped reality. I mean, who can you guys disagree? The narcissist doesn't live in the same reality that we live in. They don't think about things the same exact way that we do. They operate out of a very selfish place, almost to the point where they don't even see the others around them. It's just me, me, me. That doesn't mean though that they don't premeditate certain things, that they don't choose to do evil things. And one of the major ways I know it's demonic is because there's no other way a person can go and flip a switch and be happy, giggly, bubbly, nice, kind. And 2 seconds later, when they leave, they're a monster. You guys want to know, when I first figured out what narcissism was, and God dropped this in my lap, because I was reeling. I didn't know what I had just experienced after I got out of that situation. But I saw this meme from a friend online, and it said something like, a narcissist will treat a perfect stranger um, with kindness and compassion while being a monster to the people they love the most. Something like that. And I thought, narcissism. Yeah, that's kind of what she did. And I went and it just started from there. So yeah, that's one way you know it's demonic. They can control how they behave and how they treat people in a lot of cases. Another thing, this is underrated, guys. I'm telling you though, it's the narcissist continuous cycle that proves demonic attachment. What I mean is, it also shows their delusion and how warped they are at the same time. See, if you're, I just got to say this one more time. If you're thinking of this like it's all one way or the other, they always know 100% of every single thing they ever do and it's premeditated. Or if you think, well, they're so in delusion that they have no idea at all what they're ever doing, neither thing is correct. The truth is, and the paradox and the evil of the narcissist is that both things are going on at the same time. They're highly delusional and they do act on impulse and out of their character, yet they do scheme and do evil things intentionally. It's both things kind of blurred and blended together. So that said, it's the narcissist cycle in their pattern of behavior. Imagine a person who has been in many, 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 many relationships and many, many situations. And every single time it goes exactly the same way. Yet the next time they think it's going to be different. And not just that, but why would you even continue to do it after you've understood this pattern? Why would you even still do it anymore? unless you were very spiritually messed up. The narcissist knows things are going to go really well at first. I like him. He's amazing. This is the person. This is who I've been waiting on. It's roses and daisies. Oh, he he did something I don't like. He did something I don't like. And it can be very, very, very small. Well, now we got to go through this state, and it's going to be wishy-washy, and we're going to have some good days, and I'm going to tell him that every relationship has its ups and downs, and it's going to be rocky road, and then I'm going to get ultimately he's going to get tired of me, or I'm going to get tired of him, and I'm going to find another person in that time period, and then it's going to end, and then I'm going to start all over again. Well, now this person, oh, I like him. I love him. This is the person I've been waiting for. This is so amazing. This is great. Oh, yeah, we're in love. We're going to have this future. He did something I don't like. He did something. All right, here we go again. We're not going to get along. Yeah, good days, bad days, highs and lows, and this isn't going the right way. And well, there's this other person, and I think it needs to end. And you guys get the point. Every single thing goes this way for the narcissist. It just does. It's a never ending pattern of behavior. Even if they're married, they're doing this usually with people behind their back in these little mini cycles. Some people's cycle, some narcissists, their cycle is to get married. And they do this for 5 years, and then it's another, and 8 years, then it's another, and 3 years, then it's another. But there's no way a reasonable, rational, healthy individual that is not overcome by darkness could look at that consistent pattern and never step back and say, maybe it was me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I need to change something about how this is working. They don't do that. It's like they literally believe each time is the best time. Each new opportunity is the one that's going to work. And it was his and his and his and his and his. It was all their fault. It was all their fault. But now this one's going to work. Oh, this one's going to work. And then it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't. This is why other people call this the hamster wheel, because it is. Nobody who is spiritually sound can possibly, of the right mind, of the right spiritual disposition, could ever continue to be on this endless pattern, and every time they convince themselves it's the right thing. I heard this, and I've heard this many times from them. I don't trust myself to make good decisions. It's not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't trust myself. And that leads me to the next point. They live in continuous chaos in their minds. We know that God is not the God of chaos, of disorder, of confusion. The narcissist deals in confusion all the time. They want to put you in confusion. They live in confusion. You know this is not a person of the Lord. It's not a person of God who lives and dwells in chaos and confusion. But you know immediately it's then what? A person of the devil. Very simple. They live in chaos. The devil lives in chaos. He is the author of confusion. God is not the author of confusion. He's the author of clarity, peace, sound mind. If you are continuously operating in confusion, you are of the devil. That's what they do. Their world is absolute chaos all the time. Nothing makes sense. Nothing is calm. Nothing's peaceful. Nothing's stable. That is a hallmark, a telltale sign of a person who is spiritually disordered, who has demonic attachment. There is no two ways about this. I would also argue that the fact that they know things they shouldn't know proves the fact that they're spiritually disordered. I believe the demonic attachment relays information to the narcissist that they should not otherwise know. such as when to enter your life, when to return into your life, when to pull away, when to give you those little breadcrumbs, when to even text you or say things that maybe you had discussions with other people about, and not even them, but they knew. They knew. Somehow they knew. That's not natural. There's no naturalistic means for them to understand that. So they have these dark forces guiding them, empowering them every step of the way. Another way you know is just their bitterness and cruelty. A person who is spiritually unwell, disordered, demonically attached, they're brutal. They're ruthless. They do not have genuine love and genuine care for other individuals. There's no two ways about this. The narcissist does not truly love anyone. And they don't love themselves either. Believe me. Believe me, they don't. The narcissist portrays this person who's so strong, independent, really knows who they are, really knows their value and worth. And they are the farthest thing from that alive. They're miserable. They're insecure. They hate themselves. They can't stand who they are. They're wicked, jealous, and envious of other people. Why do you think they put on the mask? Why do they put on the front, which is a totally different person who doesn't really exist? They do that to cover up all of the real self. That's ugly and nasty. And they are wicked people. They're so cruel. They'll leave you when you're sick. They'll ghost you when you need them. They will lift you as high as the mountains in the sky and drop you off that cliff, and it does nothing to them. Oh, well, who's next? That's them. They will say the cruelest things, the devil's words. The devil speaks right through them. That's why they'll weaponize the worst events that ever happened. You had a loved one die, they'll weaponize it. You lost a child in childbirth, they'll weaponize it. You were paralyzed from an accident, they'll weaponize it. They'll make fun of you because you're paralyzed. They'll make fun of you because you can't move out of a wheelchair. Oh, yeah, they'll do this stuff. Who does it? Who spends their lives in an attempt to devalue, to instigate, to make you feel less than you are, to knock you down, to put you beneath them, to not be happy for your accomplishments, to root against you? A narcissist roots against you because they're in competition with you. They hate seeing other people succeed, most of all the person they're with. All of these things, guys, are exact characteristics of the devil. And they'll lie easy as they breathe. Do spiritually sound people do these things? Do people of the light do these things? No, they don't. They don't. And most of all, not even most of all, I've said this before, it's so important. If you want to know in the clearest, easiest, simplest way possible whether a person you meet is from the Lord or is from the devil, ask yourself this question. Did they let me keep my peace? Did they bring more peace? Or did they strip me of my peace? Is my life worse off because of them or better off? Do I feel more calm and at ease? Or have I been allowed to keep that calm, that ease of living? Or did it get stolen? Do I have that weird, strange, off-putting feeling about them? Or do I feel settled in my spirit? Does it feel right? Does it feel natural and normal? Is my gut going off? Or the alarms going off? Or are they not? So all of that is very simply summarized by, did they take your peace away from you? Do you feel less peaceful, less at ease? Or do you not? Because if you're dealing with a person from the devil, they're going to rob your peace. They're going to make you feel uncomfortable. Your alarms are going to go off. The gut's going to be screaming. And if a person is of the light, absolutely none of those things are going to occur. None of them. The narcissist is a very spiritually sick and disturbed person. They chose the path of darkness. They walked little by little, inch by inch, making rotten, corrupt decisions. And when they did that, they slowly allowed those demonic entities, with which there are just innumerable in the heavenly realm, to attach to them. More and more and more, more and more and more, the darkness has a grip over them, and they become less human and they become more demonic. So, all the reasons I mentioned are ways you can be sure that narcissists have demonic attachment. All of them. And some of them are so far gone that they can even be possessed. So, guys, I hope that sheds light on why the narcissist is what they are, why they behave the way they do, and how, honest to goodness, none of this can be explained by just some brain impairment, by just some very ordinary natural means. This is dark stuff. It comes from a dark place. So, guys, drop comments below. Appreciate the new subscribers in the comments. I'm so honored to be of help to anybody. I'll continue to do this until God moves me in another direction, or Christ comes back, or I'm not here, or whatever happens. So, appreciate you guys. Come at you with another one soon. Until then, God bless.